we've been talking about insurance lately, property insurances, and a couple of my uh, contacts, one being an agent in St. Louis and one being an actual insurance agent. So we've been shopping around. That was part of the stabilization and optimization of the properties, because when you buy them, you just get insurance no matter what, right? Just because you need to be covered for the mortgage company. And now going back and revisiting that to see what all the terms and conditions are on each policy. And I was getting policies for full replacement coverage, and in speaking with the agent, she was saying that herself, she has properties in St. Louis, and some of her investors just insure for actual cash value, which a while back I was talking about how when I was running numbers, the insurance number they were putting in their pro formas was like of what mine actually were coming back at. And that's because they were estimating cash value and I was going for full replacement coverage. What they were saying was that, especially in the areas that we're buying in, for example, we bought one place cash for $60,000 and the replacement value of it is like $170,000. So you're paying your monthly fee to cover $170,000. But what these investors do is they cover it for what they bought it for, plus maybe 20%. And the 20% is for if anything catastrophic happens, then they'll have enough money from the insurance to clear the lot and sell the lot instead of rebuilding. And the insurance contact was saying too that if you did a full replacement and you built a new place for 170, it's kind of too expensive for the area, if that makes any sense. So he put it like you're kind of betting that you're going to need to replace the whole house if you're paying for full replacement coverage. So I think on three of the properties that we have will probably go to cash value. And for example, the St. Louis property, we bought it for $70,000, so we're insuring it for 20% more. And that payment went from $1,100 a year to $596. So quite a savings. And again, it's insured for the 20% more. So if it did need to be torn down, the people in the area say they have guys who will come and clear the lot and plant grass for like $7,000. So, and then it would be ready to sell. Then you in that case, you take the money, invest it somewhere else. So that was just an interesting thing that I came across trying to do the stabilization. And I know it doesn't work in every market because two of our properties I'm going to leave at full replacement coverage, the triplex and the duplex. They are more valuable properties, and those markets it would be better to rebuild than scrape it and sell the lot. But it adds quite a bit of, I would imagine that adds about $50 a month to your positive cash flow per door on those other three. And that changes the cash on cash return quite a bit in those markets because the properties are, not as expensive. Do you guys have any other thoughts on what somebody just getting into real estate investing might be interested to know? Or what do you tell people who are, interested in, have you found anyone interested? I know in my area, people think, oh, that's interesting, but they never pursue it, Anybody have any thoughts about that?
I tried talking to a couple people about it. They're not interested at all, so I don't bring it up anymore. That's pretty much it.
Yeah. Like I've said before too, luckily I didn't hear about the first 5 years sucking right away because that probably would have stopped me as well. But that probably started coming about after we were already in 2.5 years or so, and we could already see the benefits, so it didn't matter too much. But a new person hearing that, they don't even want to wait a week for some kind of gratification, and so they would be deterred really easily if they heard that right now. But thankfully, all the guys we mentioned earlier, they're all honest and they'll tell you. And I think about you guys, you younger guys that have so much more time for your properties to take hold and start producing cash for you, and so that's really exciting for us to see. And like I said earlier, already having some decent cash flow with our portfolio being so new is encouraging. So I think, like I mentioned earlier, we're down to the last part of the interview, and Mikey and I have been doing song recommendations over the last couple of interviews. So I was just wondering if you guys listen to music and if you have any songs that are favorites of yours. I, being born in the 60s, went way back. So there's a group called Rare Earth and a song called Get Ready. It's if you find the long version, it's pretty cool. It's like 22 minutes long.
Oh, gee.
So also, Mikey, you talk about you driving around the islands and stuff. That might be a good one for you to listen to while you're driving, but that's mine. And Mikey, since we've done it before, why don't you go next?
Yeah, so I had to go out to Kona recently for a job, and the airport is pretty stressful. All the people don't like peopling, so there's this band, Krungbin, and the song is May 9th, and it's just very laid back, very more instrumental based, and they're a band out of Texas. And I put that between my ears, and that really helped me calm down. And when I'm stressed out about real estate or anything else, just pop, a couple of minutes in my ears and helps me vibe out.
Yeah, I've like I mentioned before on some of our other interviews, nothing can change your mood as fast as, well, for me anyway, can change your mood so fast as a song, and how do you spell the name of that group?
That's KHRUANGBIN.
BIN?
Yep. And the two lead guitarists, they wear these jet black long wigs, so it's kind of a funny.
And the song was Mainline. Okay.
Yeah, May 9th.
How about you, Jason? Are you into any music?
I listen to mostly like heavy metal and stuff, which nobody's probably going to like any of that. What's something a little more common that I think people would like, that's an interesting song, I think at least, is Ball and a Biscuit by the White Stripes.
Ball and a Biscuit?
Yes.
I think the titles are more entertaining than we listen to everything. I've told Mikey, from gospel to country to hip hop and even some heavy metal. We used to have a friend, both of us had a friend that we worked with, and he got me into Iron Maiden. So yeah, Iron Maiden, right on. How about you, Cody?
So it's actually interesting. I've been listening to so many like podcasts and all that kind of stuff. It's up to like, I don't listen to music too much anymore, to be honest with you. But usually, I'll go back to like 90s, early 2000s stuff. So like 90s country or rap or like that kind of stuff, or early 2000s. So I don't know if I have a specific song or anything, but that would be kind of the genres going back to then that I'd be into. So
okay, yeah. When Cynthia and I got together, it was back in the 90s, and country was real big. But going back a little further, like George Strait and all those real country guys. But when we were getting together, it was like Garth Brooks and forget some of the female artists. But yeah, we really like country. And it was a funny thing, because I have earpods that I sometimes can wear at work and listen to music while we work. And sometimes I'll try to listen to podcasts, but I work with my cousin, and it seems like whenever I'm trying to listen to a podcast, he either has questions or he's whistling real loud or singing. And I'm like, just be quiet, please, so I can listen to Dion or whoever. But yeah, so recently, like Jason Aldean, Chris Stapleton, guys like that, John Pardee, that's some good country. But I was telling Mikey that I was getting into all these new country songs, and then when I looked them up, I realized they were came out 8 years ago. Where was I 8 years ago? You know? Yeah.
Yeah, that's the stuff we listen to as well. So like if I don't have podcasts on, it's usually like the older stuff like that, typically.
Yeah, that's cool.
Any new music at all. Well, but I don't have anywhere to even listen to new music anywhere. So I listen to all the old stuff I always liked.
Yeah, well, what I did, and being technologically challenged back in the day, for example, if there is an artist that you do like, just say Iron Maiden for some reason, and you go to Pandora and you make a station, an Iron Maiden station, and then it's not just all Iron Maiden, but a bunch of other bands in that same genre will come up, and I've discovered a lot of new artists that are really cool that way. So, yeah, well, thank you guys. I appreciate you taking the time to do this today, and being with us every week, and the Zoom calls grown quite a bit. So the other thing that I would mention before we take off is just the network that's been growing. How much I know it's affected us a lot in a positive way, just knowing and talking and hearing more people tell their stories. So hopefully that'll keep going strong. But I appreciate it. Hopefully we can do it again when you guys have time.
For sure.
Thank you.
Good to see you guys all again. Thank you very much.
Yeah, Jason, thanks for jumping in.
Of course.